Rays win! Rays win!
The yearly dreaded Tampa Bay Rays trade deadline is finally over. Let's recap, go over the moves, see how we're feeling, look at what the Rays have brought in and how it can help them in the future, what the future looks like. There's a good amount to talk about. What's good, everybody? Let's talk some Tampa sports. So it started a little bit before the deadline with the trade of Danny Jansen. There's already a video I have out on that, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. I'm actually good with it. Danny Jansen was not bringing much offensively, and his defensive numbers were way down. And they bring in Nick Fortes, who is a very good defensive catcher, not bringing much offensively, but at least you're getting that defensive, that great framing. Everything that he brings defensively is an upgrade. Do I think he's, a starter for years to come? No, I think he would be a very solid backup. The Rays also got an outfielder and then gave up an outfielder. I don't think it was technically a 3-team trade, but sort of how it worked out. That's the cliff notes of that Jansen deal. Let's go into what most recently occurred right before the deadline. Let's start with Zach Littell. Zach Littell, now a part of the Cincinnati Reds. So here we go. We know what Zach Littell was bringing to the table. He's been with us for a few years now. And I think everyone can say we love the guy. Personality, great clubhouse guy, and honestly has pitched well for us for a pretty extended period of time. I have no issues with Zach Littell. He was very solid. And if you were looking at him as your 4th or 5th guy, you're good with it. This year, he had a 3.58 ERA and 133 innings pitched. Not bad at all. He was coming up to be a free agent. I think that's the most important thing probably in this when you look at context and were the Rays going to re-sign him? Should they just trade him to get at least something in return? That's what they ended up doing. He does lead the league in home runs given up. And a lot of those were solo shots, thankfully. And he did what Zach Littell did. He just found a way, minimize pitches, be able to go deep in games. And, it's honestly a good tape of, how to control the mound as a pitcher, not let the game get away from you. If you give up a couple, sure, it's fine, but you're never really letting the game get away from you. And that's what Zach Littell did. So, shout out Zach Littell. Wish him nothing but success. So, in return, the Rays got 2 pitchers. One left-hander, Adam Serwanowski, and right-handed pitcher, Brian Van Bell. So, the only guy we'll look at is Brian Van Bell because Serwanowski ended up getting dealt in another trade. So, quickly on Brian Van Bell, don't want to go too deep, take too long on these minor league guys, or we'll be here forever. But since that's all we got in return for Zach Littell, I at least want to talk about Van Bell. So far in 2025, 3.4 ERA, 87 innings pitched. It's not anything to go crazy about. I think he's 28 years old. Yes, 28 years old. Once again, he was coming up to be a free agent. I'm talking about Zach Littell. We got something in return. And the other pitcher, of course, in that Zach Littell deal, we were able to partially turn into Hunter Fiducia. So, you get something. You get something for a guy who was coming up to be a free agent. That's the way I'm looking at it. So, Hunter Fiducia. Minor league AAA guy. Been in AAA for a little bit now. We're looking at 3 seasons. Maybe even more. Nearly 4 seasons of being in the Dodgers minor league system. Reason for that, the Dodgers are stacked. Obviously, they have Will Smith, they have Dalton Rushing, and he was pretty much just stuck behind them. Hitting .290, 9 home runs, 79 games. That's pretty good offensive numbers, and he's a pretty good defensive catcher. I would like to see him get called up at some point this season to see what he can bring. Like I said, he's 28 years old. It's not like he's some young catcher that we're bringing in from the Dodgers and has super high hopes, but he's a guy that's probably should have gotten more time so far in the majors and just hasn't. He has 2 at-bats. That's it. Along with Serwanowski, the Rays also did give up 2 more minor leaguers. I'll throw that full trade on the screen for you there so you can read all of that. But yeah, another catcher to throw in the mix along with Matt Thaiss, Nick Fortes, see how this all kind of plays out. Once again, I don't think either of these three guys are guys you want to be your, 4 out of 6 days be the starter. But it's what we're working with right now. And it's, the Danny Jansen thing didn't work out. And they're trying to remedy that with, bringing in Nick Fortes. Like I said, I'm happy with that move. Grew up being a Rays fan, by the way. He's one of us. And then now having Hunter Fiducia in here in the mix. So we'll see how that turns out at the catcher position. All right. And then Jose Caballero, our favorite utility man. That one kind of sucks. I mean, just the way it all went down, going to a division rival. They were literally in the middle of a game because of that, 2-hour and 30-minute delay. And he's in there in the dugout just giving hugs to the guys. Like, that's so weird, so awkward, and it's just tough. It's tough. I really liked Jose Caballero. I feel like he's just one of those guys that had that dog in him. Great running the bases, led the league in steals last year, and on pace to do it again this year, unless maybe Chandler Simpson caught him. Could play pretty much anywhere in the field defensively, which that type of versatility is a great thing to have. A great thing to have, especially when you're looking at the Rays now with the injuries they have. I feel like we still could use that. Not bringing a ton offensively, but that's not really what you're looking for him. He's the utility guy. He runs the bases really well, very versatile defensively. Is he great at any one defensive position? No, but he can play anywhere. And his attitude, his energy, I really liked Cabby, man. Tough to see him go. What we end up getting in return from the Yankees, not quite a 1-for-1. There still is a player to be named later. But for right now, this is the only named player. Everson Pereira, AAA guy, has had some time in the majors with the Yankees. 93 at-bats, 14 hits, 6 runs, 10 RBIs, but a 151 average. So he's only 24 years old. He is one of the younger guys that we're bringing in from these trades. But so far in the majors, hasn't shown a ton. Right now, in the minors, he's batting .254. He does have some pop. I'll give him that, 19 home runs on the season. But center fielder, righty. I mean, there's not too much else to say here about that. Caballero, individually, I wish him the best as long as he's, not playing us. But the fact that he went to the Yankees, come on, man. Come on, man. All right, now let's get to the big trades. Let's get to the big ones. So, Adrian Hauser. We'll go with this one first. Righty, 32 years old. And you give up a guy who was, high hopes for a while in Curtis Mead. It just really didn't play. Unfortunately, with the whole Mead situation, he did get some more time this year. Like, he really had his opportunity to show he was ready and, do his thing. Started off really slow. He had a short stint there where he was looking pretty good. Finally brought some power to the plate, things like that. But it just never fully turned out with Curtis Mead, unfortunately. And the Rays turned him and 2 minor league pitchers into Adrian Hauser. So, 32 years old, like I said. Righty, starter. Since coming back this year in 68 innings pitched. A 2.10 ERA. And you see a good amount of red here on Baseball Savant. It's usually a good thing. Barrel percentage way low technically, but percentile is very high. Pitching value, 77th percentile. Fastball value, 90th percentile. All really good things with Adrian Hauser. Like I said, since he's come back, dominant. A 2.10 ERA is not something you can really 68 innings in, disregard. Is it like a blip, though, or is it the new normal? What is it for Hauser? Because this is, for the most part, looking at his career, an outlier. So here you got your 2.10 ERA in 2025, but you look at the year before, nearly a 6. 4, nearly a 5. Here's a 3. Here's a 5. So kind of tough to tell, but you can't lie with the numbers this year. They're fantastic. And It's just the Rays, I think, finally moving on from the whole Curtis Mead situation, finally, saying, it just didn't work out how we were hoping to. Obviously, was one of our highest ranked prospects for a long time, struggled to find time in the majors. I know there's some people that probably think it's a year too early to give up on it. Like, what if we gave up on Aranda last year when he was like spending a little bit of time with the Rays but not really doing a ton? I can see that being the Meade situation this year, and who knows, he maybe ends up turning out well for the White Sox, but the Rays decided to move on, and that's the way it is. The Rays have a new starting pitcher in Adrian Hauser, and we will just hope that 2.10 ERA continues. That's all you can do. All right, and the last and final one, the biggest one, a rare 1-for-1 trade. Both major league pitchers, no other, minor league here, minor leaguer there involved. Cash considerations, player to be named later. We had a true 1-for-1 Rays Twins. Starter for reliever. Taj Bradley is no longer a Tampa Bay Ray. Taj is... how could you not like the guy? Like, he's ended up being very inconsistent. He's only 24 years old. Once again, another situation where the Rays are just like moving past that situation. Taj has spent some time in the majors now. Like, he's had his opportunities to find that consistency, finally get that splitter down, because when it is, it's dominant, and he can just put together a whole stretch of games. What was it, last year where he won Player of the Month? Like, the potential's there for Taj Bradley, and he's going to the Twins. It's not like it's an American League East rival. Like, I wish him nothing but the best. Like, seems like such a honest, true to himself guy, and the talent is there. I know the talent is there for Taj. It's just finding it and putting it together consistently. Obviously, like I said, the inconsistency was heavy this year. It was heavy. And it seemed like every other game he was giving up way too much, just not what you wanted to see from him. The Rays recently did, of course, just send him down. And, we're looking at having Joe Boyo as a starter instead. Obviously now adding Hauser to the mix with Littell being gone. And then he goes to Durham and pitches, 7 scoreless innings? Like, I know the potential is there. He's way too good to be playing in the minors, but he just has to find consistency in the majors. So, enough talking about Taj. No longer a Ray. The return is fantastic. I can switch over to Baseball Savant right now and not even say any words. You can just look at the percentiles and know he's fantastic. Like, come on now. But, yeah. Still sucks to see Taj go. So, Griffin Jax, 30 years old, reliever. One of the best relievers in the American League. Hands down. Maybe the best setup guy, going from the 8th to the 9th inning to your closer in the American League. He's fantastic. You look at the chase, the whiff, the K. I mean, he's 98th plus percentile in all three of those. Off speed, run value, 92nd percentile. And exciting to see what the Rays pitching staff will take this stuff, these advanced metrics, and turn them into. Obviously, the bullpen has been honestly the downfall of the Rays. Going from June, where we were on this high with the Rays, to July, where it's just completely fallen apart, now sitting below 500. It's insane to me still. The bullpen was the downfall of that. So many games given up. It's been rough in the bullpen. So this is a major addition, much needed, and excited to see what he can bring, thinking of it as like that Jason Adam to Pete Fairbanks, sequence that we saw for a while there. Similar to that, I think, is what Griffin Jax is going to bring, and I'm excited to see it. The guy's extremely talented. His stuff is insane, as you can see. So when you look at starting pitching now at this point, we're looking at Rasmussen, Shane Baz, Boyle, Hauser, Pepio. McClanahan obviously still just dealing with his issues. And yeah, the bullpen did make an upgrade, so there's that. It's an interesting, weird situation with the Rays where they didn't buy really, but they also didn't fully sell. They kind of just played this middle game where they tried to look at their needs and kind of address it. And I think they did when you look at bringing in a guy like Griffin Jacks to the bullpen and, you know, kind of just switching things out with Hauser for Littell. I'm not mad at that at all. I mean, Littell had 4-something ERA or 3-something. And you're bringing in Hauser, who's been fantastic so far this year. You got depth at catcher. I don't know what they're going to do with Aranda out with that wrist injury, now not having Curtis Mead. It's Kim needs to get healthy because we no longer have Caballero to kind of play that shortstop along with Taylor Walls. It's an interesting situation with the Rays right now. That's for sure. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave your comments down below what you think on this trade deadline, the moves that the Rays made. Do you like them? Do you love them? Are you just like meh? Or do you hate them? Let me know down in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you have not already. Rays up, and y'all have a blessed one.
Hey, hey, Tampa Bay.